你现在这个接近答案越来越清晰了。那今天本期要做的就是要去南边的这个桥哈，要走到南边的桥，它会修好，今天早上它会修好啦。对，然后我要去找那个坐轮椅的那个阿姨啊，她的老公。然后呢，记住啊，我还要回去跟我们的角头老大对质啊，说你是不是有参加毒品？好了，先去找老大好了，到底有没有参加毒品
？Looks like the circus left town, but the clowns are still here.
“哈哈，争强好胜，不用了。争强好胜，不用了。16不用了。
Like hell you have. There is no local drug trade. This place is as clean as a rifle. Go back to Jamrock and ask the local junkies how clean your streets are in Precinct 41 Kilos.
We'll do that. In the meantime, did you know that there's an abandoned lorry at the intersection that was used to move raw ingredients for drugs from Terminal B to Jamrock? The person driving it was present at the hanging. It was one of you. We've connected the footprints. Detective, do you want to deliver the coup de grâce?
你干嘛漏梗啊？
The thought forms in your head, like a lightning strike branching in the sky.
That's a mighty interesting theory. I guess that's what you would need to do, theoretically. A big, strong, state-run monopoly would outcompete the runts on the street.
Yeah, man. Theoretically, that's what you would do. To get rid of the gangs, the dealers, even some of the junkies.
You would need good, trustworthy people to take their place, of course. Hardy men to run such a monopoly. For the good of the community, of course. No, there aren't. Some little shit and his dad are doing speed. Who fucking who? Stuff's probably from Jan.
Little shit. That's Kuno in the yard.
Whatever you've seen is peanuts. Look at the big picture, man. The place is a paradise. And all thanks to Hardy Boys.
Theoretically, of course. We're just talking politics here. My answer to your drug accusation is, how dare you? Go fuck yourself.
Not quite yet, Mr. Hardy.
你
There
干
were
嘛一直要
8
破
sets
梗
of
呢、
prints on the crime scene. There are only 7 Hardy Boys here.
My answer is, fuck off. Mind your own business. There is no 8th Hardy. I run this goddamn scene.
And here we go. Back to the usual.
I know! Fatty walked on all fours. He's so fucking fat, he left 2 sets of footprints.
Despite everything, the little man is quick on his feet.
Go fuck your mom, Dennis.
That's more like it, boys. You heard him. It was Angus on all fours. Anything else you need to know?
What are you talking about, madman? There's... Or what? You want to be the 8th Hardy Boy? We ain't hiring.
Actually, boss, we've been talking and we think she could maybe...
She? So there's an 8th Hardy, and it's a Hardy girl? Who might it be? Elizabeth? The gardener?
哟，有可能呢。那傻子，你怎么？你去问那个卡车司机，有一个在会写诗的哈，你怎么没有去？你怎么没有去问他这个长得像长相怎么样呢？
Shut the fuck up, Glenn! I do the talking here. Now what the fuck do you want, cop?
It has to be good, if he won't let you pursue it. Looks like the lieutenant thinks so too.
So let me get this straight. There is an 8th Hardy Boy. It's a she, and you don't like us talking about her?
That's right. We're not talking about this. This is a private Hardy Boys matter. Nothing to do with your shit. And you're not cops here. Don't go digging around if you don't want a bullet in the back of your head. I'm watching you.
Good. We are all watching each other. Officer, your question.
There's no point in pushing it further, he thinks. This is already a victory. We'll learn more about this 8th Hardy sooner or later.
我不要讲子弹的事情啊，干嘛讲？拿到经验值就好了。现在去南边啊。干我的体力哈，体力太低了。想要买一颗药。买一颗药。体力至少有2格啦。
A small cabinet on the wall is filled with various medicine bottles, nasal sprays, and blister packs.
这个便宜。
They all...
Okay, here. I hope Saint Baptiste makes you feel better or something.
”南边的，该捡的垃圾我都被我捡了。这些是什么？你们已经把它修好是不是？
Yes?
这些工人我不能讲话嘞，可是他们应该把它修好了。有啊。有啦，修好就是用这个开
A
啦。
rusting control panel. You grab the handle and pull the lever up. As soon as the metal connects against the contact pins, you hear a loud clunk. Then, the water lock starts moving.
Later. Leverage. 哦，我靠，酷哦！
Okay, if we ever need to get to the coast, then this is the way. But please, contain your wanderlust for now. I don't want us to get sidetracked, not with everything that's going on.
Focus on one thing. Achieve it, then the next, he thinks. That's the task chain.
Task chain. 我每点一次，我都会有钱。这钱很少，但是也是钱吧。点吧。那来看看啊，钱啊。 小孩子在上面玩耍，没有啊？哎，干，这有汽油可以拿啊！我可以回去画画了。我现在是要找那个老公了。美片，这是什么？通达情理哦。我靠，这是那个 Commonly 啊 ，Commonly 的地盘啊。没关系，我现在要拿那个汽油啊，我可以回去画画。哦，这就是那一台车嘛。看，这可以卖到11.2块耶。
A banged-up motor carriage lies half submerged in the icy water, slowly sinking into the Insulindian Ocean. Only the cabin top, rear wheels, and the engine remain visible. Remember the tire tracks in Martinez? This is where they were leading.
真的还假的？
It appears to be so. I agree. We should definitely investigate.
You get a sudden, sinking feeling. Stomach acid comes up as you look at the motor carriage in the deep, dark, cold water. The motor carriage is properly stuck in the ice. Getting it out would require a team of specialists. A single day in the salty seawater would ruin most vehicles, but this one looks worn even in places the salt water hasn't touched it. The logo is too deep in the murky water. You can't make it out, but you do see a monkfish float by.
安康鱼哎。
The ice hasn't closed around the vehicle yet. My guess is it's been here since last Saturday or Sunday.
The estimate is correct. The incident probably occurred on Sunday evening.
Let's wait for the low tide and see what's inside.
Great idea. Then we can get the things inside. The joyrider must have left something good inside. Guns, papers, maybe a cool jacket. Papers. Papers would be cool. Maybe there's registration inside, like a person registration. You know, like your badges.
I don't know. An hour or two, tops?
真的还假的啊？
As you sit down in the old, rusty playground, the world around you becomes very silent.
怎么会在这边等？那先去做别的事啊！
The hinges creak under your weight, dangerously so. Nothing but the sound of seagulls high above in the sky, echoing like distant laughter. Ice cracks around the blue motor carriage in the sea.
Yes, it does. Let me think about it.
艺术园警探。
The tune on your lips forms a strange yet undeniably beautiful contrast with the surrounding bleakness. The lieutenant gives you a quick glance, then, still looking straight ahead, he joins you with a higher pitched and slightly more melodic
真的
trill.
还假的？
Two birds on a wire, whistling by the seaside, looking at the water and a sunken car. The clouds pass in the sky, and the shadow of the swing moves like the hour hand on a timepiece. 30 minutes have passed. Looks like this might take a while. Time to present a good topic for discussion.
I'm pretty sure I told you already, didn't I? My dad and mom are both half Celite.
Clouds on the horizon grow darker, and the shadow of the swing set keeps climbing. You hear the distant rumble of the city. 30 minutes pass.
God, I hope so.
Your voice echoes on the water, strange and out of place in the environment. 30 more minutes pass.
可以了吧？是下午了。
Detective, I've been able to make out the mark ever since we arrived. I find it odd that you haven't. It's a Coupri, Model 40.
40型。
Yes. Why haven't you?
为什么？干，我助手比我厉害啊！
It is a simple and rugged machine, favored by working men, government offices, firefighters, animal control people, you know, those kinds of people.
哦，这就是他第一个分析出来的车了。那时候我自己呢分析出2个型号，这就是第一个型号，就是非常 popular 大家通用的型号啊。
Yes, 41. What do you think it stands for?
It's as if he knows what it stands for, but wants you to say it. It's pedagogical. Does he know something about that speed racer?
A precinct, yes.
Precinct,
A police precinct. Precinct 41. Your precinct.
precinct.
A massive pit opens up in your stomach, and the most terrible feeling comes over you. Oh God, Harry. Oh God, Harry. What did you do? No. Just no. Say no to this, Harry.
天哪，真的还假的？真的还假的？
Yes, your car is in the sea. Face it, so we can start dealing with this.
笑死我了！笑
I'm
死
afraid
我了！
so, yes. It looks like you started in front of the whirling, jumped over the canal, and then drove your vehicle in the sea right here.
笑死我了！
Of whom? I don't think so. If anything, you were probably drunk.
靠呀，我真的是一个糟糕的警探。
Detective, we don't. A rescue operation really isn't viable at this point.
OK，
I'm afraid it will have to be there like that for many years. Look at it. Parts of it might be salvageable, but overall, this machine is a write-off. That is very unlikely. All the electrics are toast. That goes for the electromagnetic steering and brake systems as well. You'd be lucky to find one undamaged component in there. In a few months, there will be nothing but rust left of this vehicle. It'll be cheaper to buy a new one. Well, not cheaper. This motor carriage costs 40,000 real. But in the long run, it still makes more sense to buy a new machine than try to refurbish this. Let's face it, this is a substantial loss to your district's budget. I mean, my station only has 4 other vehicles in addition to my kinema.
This was 20% of the station's vehicular budget.
People are more valuable than machines. Training a police officer is even more costly.
People, yes, but not you. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and doesn't say anything.
我还想说，在追查说是谁啊？想说是哪个凶手，或是谁造成这个哪一个可疑人物造成这个交通事故？没想到竟然就是我啊！
You can still whistle. Besides, the night is always darkest before the dawn. Yes, let's go take a look.
对啊。诶，那空瓶我会收，我可以。
This is it, the scene of the party. The fire pit. Cigarettes and empty bottles all evidence it.
派对。
Looks like they were here a while, judging from all the bottles. The sunken motor carriage provided them a focal point, like a goose ice sculpture or a chocolate fountain.
Looks like it. Hey, let's keep moving, detective.
什么东西啊？警政啊？杜博雅，真的叫杜博雅啊？真的就叫杜博雅嘛？真的就叫做哈利杜博雅啊？怎么没有剧情啊？你得有钱啊！ 钱一定要拿、啊。我拿到我的警证了、啊，不是拿到我的警证了吗？
A police badge on which you see the photo of a man. You. Some seaweed is stuck to the back.
At least something good came out of all this.
Encased between 2 durable plastic sheets is a bluish card with lines of information and a watermark in the shape of the street grid of Revachol West. You see a photo, a name, a rank, a document number, the date of issue, and, in the lower right corner, your precinct.
Precinct. Harry.
Harrier, that's long for Harry. So you are Harry. Evrard was half right. Probably not a lot of people know your full name. Whoever told him you're Harry Dubois didn't.
对啊，这样整个对啦。对啦，这是因为那个口音没办法念出来。Harry 跟 Harry， 你念很快，你就没办法辨别出来。接受啊，为什么不接受？
It's a wartime name, revolutionary. The kind mothers give their sons during troubled times, like Undying or Boxer or Ironhide.
A name like armor.
Pleased to make your acquaintance, Harrier Dubois.
The badge in your hands shines as you rotate it, catching light. You see lines of information. The man keeps winking at you with his green-gray eyes. The photo is old, no doubt about that. But the badge is new. You used an old photo for a new badge. 8, maybe 10 years. The guy in the picture is rather good-looking. He's got a nice haircut and is distinctly lacking in massive sideburns.
Sideburn.
What do you think? His face is already contorted by the expression, although it looks less grotesque on him than it did on you.
Contour. Contours. 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 对。
It looks like you had quite the charming face way back then. Your hair is brown and slightly curly. Your eyes seem more clear somehow. The lack of alcohol swelling is a bonus, though there's a pinch of that in your cheeks already. The badge in your hand shines as you rotate it, catching light. You see lines of information on it, and a shining watermark.
Watermark. 污水印。
Lieutenant W. Freighter.
双重的。
The lieutenant is a rank above sergeant and below captain. It's the highest rank in the RCM that still does field work. I am a lieutenant.
哦，前线里面来讲呢，Lieutenant 是最高的。
The title of Freighter is added to your rank when you decline a promotion to a higher rank. In your case, captain. You have declined twice, thus you're double Freighter.
真的还假的？
There are many reasons one would do this. The rank above you in your precinct's décomptage might be taken, or sometimes promoted officers do not want to replace their superiors out of respect. And sometimes they just prefer the type of police work available to their current rank, in your case, lieutenant.
倒着。
Décomptage is the hierarchical system employed by the Revachol citizens' militia. It means counting down to twos.
The countdown is modeled after the dual leadership system employed by the left during the revolution, which in turn was developed by last-century experimental psychologists in the University of Königstein.
The lowest rank is junior officer, usually teenagers. Then there are the patrol officers, then sergeants, lieutenants, and then a captain. That's basically it, except for a few kings.
上去就是 Captain。
Kings like satellite officers and the additional freighter rank I already explained. No, I've been putting up with you because, despite an unconventional approach, you are doing good police work.
Put up. Put up. Put up with.
It matters more than driving your motor carriage into the sea. And now we've even found your badge.
好吧。
Such a small yet precious thing. Expensive paper caught between thick plastic, like a fly in amber. It reads.
Fly in amber， 我觉得这个是非常好的比喻啊。
That's just the serial number. Revachol, Jamrock, Precinct 41, with some numbers thrown in there for good measure.
The numbers are not there for good measure. They have an administrative purpose, one that's unfortunately been erased from your memory.
4 months ago. I'm guessing that's when you were promoted to the rank of Lieutenant W. Freighter. A new badge usually comes with a new rank. You seem to have been doing well then.
You're pretty sure you weren't doing well, but better? Probably yes.
Yes, it's the designation of your precinct. 41, like mine says 57. The 57th is mostly industrial harbor, a lot of asphalt. The 41st is... It's a tough station to work in. You have all of Jamrock to cover. That district should have 3 precincts, but money is what it is. But then again, it's a legendary district, and a hell of a station too. It must be an honor and a curse to work with people like Price, McCoy, Berdiayeva.
Roberts, Feuerbach, Dimitri. Suddenly, names from your decomptage flash in your forebrain.
Forebrain.
He knew all those people, although they're not from his station. They must be big. The badge in your hand shines as you rotate it.
我就拿到一个新的服装，这个是巡逻斗篷，巡逻斗篷跟我的 RCN 指挥官外套，见微知著，天人感应不需要啦，我不需要天人感应，这个好帅啊！看，衣服都快满了啊，这是因为还没穿过，这个橘色是因为还没穿过的，故弄玄虚，通达情理。哎，这个见微知著好了。为什么这些眼镜都有副作用？很烦呢、欸。刷子，生产计啊靠！这个生产计划有50块啊！靠，这个汽油也有11块呢。我现在有3点哦，我还不确定我要升什么、啊。干脆我来这个冲一下能好了。哇，我不能拿一点油吗？我想拿一点油啊。是哪里、啊？要走下去哦，好吧。拿 塑胶回收到底什么时候才可以塑胶回收？这应该没人住，我直接进去了，没人住。故弄玄虚，这个好这是在帽子这里是不是？故弄玄虚，我觉得不错。这是哪一个部位啊？这领带吗？故弄玄虚，我觉得故弄玄虚还不错。内陆帝国很少出现。明信片，看。怎么样？
Great news. The boat is big enough for a grown man like you to fit underneath it in a supine position.
Supine。等一下。
Huh? Sarcastic self-pity is not what we need at this moment, officer. I understand the situation looks grim, but we must continue with our investigation.
You have a home somewhere. All cops do. When this is done, you can return.
Yes. 所以呢？ 那边不能走了，是不是？那边不能走。但是可以过去的，因为有人破坏铁丝网。这些都是一些废物啊！这个好像是之前说的那个鱼市，已经荒废的鱼市吧？有提到过啊，南边是荒废的鱼市。你是说我现在到底在哪？在这啦，荡秋千在这嘛。然后我这样子可以一路走过去，我靠！你记得啊，晚上我还要去那个你刚刚为什么地上会有钱？这游戏怎么设计成这样？那你设计成9瓶让我捡，我还觉得，然后就换，我觉得比较合理。那边还有东西。录音带。
There's no way to listen to the tape without a working tape player or a pawn shop. A pawn shop would have a tape player.
OK， 我可以去买，我可以去。这不能走啊，有围栏啊。这类的游戏地图都是有限的，这里不能走吗？ 走过来啊，然后呢，应该都会把我卡死，因为他不能转向。有人在这边洗衣服哎，有人住这里耶。我知道了啦，这就是那个吧？我不是要找科学家吗？妈的！
The worn and beaten wooden planks of the bench do not look overly comforting.
We can sit on benches after we've solved the murder. Let's go.
You can revisit the bench if you ever need to pass the time when Lieutenant Kitsuragi is gone.
可以啊。这什么东西？我靠，这个厉害了呢！身手和心智都会加嘞。我靠，身手跟心智都加，这个厉害了。这是什么？道德国度。没有，有人住在这啊。我越来越有钱了啊。看，那随着我的探索，我的这个经验值也是过得很快，升得很快啊。这群人啊，我现在到底在哪？哎，为什么你为什么不会显示说我自己的现在的这个？它应该要显示出我现在处在的位置啊。这个不会显示出我自己的位置干嘛？要我自己去对是不是？跟他讲话。
Hey, tequila! Good to see you. How's business? How's the whole reality situation treating you?
不要跟他握手。
So what's happening? Yeah, tequila sunset. How are the high concept reality based adventures proceeding?
He says it like it's obviously your name. Like you call someone Billy Brunel or leader of the 4th Street Gang.
It's good to hear that you're on top of things. Talking about used to, did you know that I used to be a real mover and shaker? Sadly, things aren't going that well in Idiot Doom's Spiral Land. Haven't found those keys yet, haven't won that great piece of ass back. No word from my business buddies.
Idiot Doom Spiral, huh? This is bound to be a good, high-concept conversation. At last.
We are saving the world. Please! Please don't go! Don't go! Okay, we're drinking. We're drinking alcohol. That's what we're doing. I tried to save the world once, a long time ago, with enterprise, creativity, and willpower. But that didn't work out. So now, it's a pirate's life for me. It's you. You're Tequila Sunset. We've met before. Don't you?
No, you sure don't.
Maybe. You look like you want to know how Tequila Sunset came to be. You look like you want to hear the tale. Let me take a sip to moisten up my chords. Tequila Sunset rolled into Martinez last Friday. And by Tequila Sunset, I mean you. The man, the myth. Hey, let's not jump ahead of ourselves. This is your story. Stop interrupting. You got here on Friday to solve a case, hoping to be the early bird who gets the worm. And by the worm, I mean the buzz. Because as far as I know, all you did was get piss drunk. Word on the street is you went around the local hostel telling people that you're a police officer, and that it would be really fucked up if you shot yourself in the head right in front of them. That's pretty high concept, if you ask me.
It is. The lieutenant's brow is furrowed. He's listening as casually as he can.
Hey, man, I'm not judging. This life's a valley of woes. Some of the highest concept people in history have killed themselves. And been drunks. Either way, it was a late Saturday night when we, the Union of Moribund Alcoholics, got our drink on. Nothing remarkable about this. We get our drink on 24/7. Makes everything warm and glowy. I trust you know the feeling. One moment we hear the sound of a motor carriage revving up somewhere on the plaza, followed by a series of dings and bangs.
Do you remember the sound of wood cracking? The billboard?
Naturally, loud noises pique the interest of anybody owning a pair of ears. That's just the reality we're in. Anyway, there was a brief silence, a gasp of silence, if you will, followed by a real commotion. We heard the carriage careening towards the coast at top speed. Sounded like someone jumped the canal. We grabbed our brewskis and rushed to the jetty. Never underestimate the speed of an alcoholic. What we saw was a sight to behold. A beat-up police carriage containing you. Right there on the beach. You revved the engine and screamed at the top of your lungs. The time hath come! So, naturally, being the curious cat I am, I asked what time hath come. To which you... The time hath come for Tequila Sunset, the end of all things! After which, your reality contracted. You jammed the pedal, plowed right off the jetty, and through the ice.
Jetty.
Your hands cramp on the steering levers.
We ran towards the ice, whilst you crawled your way out, miraculously unhurt, covered in seaweed and shit. Like some kind of sea monster. When we finally got there, you were sitting on the beach crying. You said that your badge and uniform were in the car. It was too late to get in there, though. The carriage had sunk too deep. Recognizing a brother in need, We offered our condolences and invited you to party with us, which you naturally agreed to.
看到
We asked about the whole tequila sunset thing, and you told us it was your name now and insisted that we all call you that from then on. Yeah, I agree. Hours. It was an all-night drink-a-thon. Then, at some point, I think it was Sunday morning, you got belligerent and wanted to talk about Revacholian women.
belligerence. Belligerence.
How they're beautiful and also whores and so on. How one of them fucked you real bad. After a short while, you crossed the event horizon, looked sullen, got up, and left without saying anything.
Wow, that's quite a story.
Yeah, I bet Tequila's a fucking legend around the precinct. You must be proud to work with him.
If you only knew.
You were pretty vague about it, but you kept saying you got fucked real hard, and that we've all been fucked too.
No one's fucked me. I do the fucking around here. Abigail.
It seemed pretty painful, to be honest with you. If I had to guess, I'd say you're still working through some shit. Beside your gun and your badge, you said something about your hope or heart or something. To be honest, the details are a little hazy.
应该就是他被他妻子抛弃了吧
In retrospect, I guess you lost your motor carriage too? That's a big one. You told us that they were a bunch of fucking losers whose main interest was cramping your style.
cramp. 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 Clamp. Crap. Clamp. Cramp. 对啊 cramp. 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 Cramp 跟 clamp 应该类似。Clamp. 对啊。Cramp.
No specifics, though. It was more about you that night. You were the star of the show. Yeah, you said it was no biggie and that you'd solve it in no time. And that you didn't need anyone to do it. You're doing it solo now.
A lot of cops go solo and hermit once they reach that level of alcoholism.
Yeah, you seemed really mad about immigrants for some reason.
Immigrant 我知道啦，就是移民来把他的妻子抢走。
I'd rather not get into the details. It was pretty low concept. You kept apologizing for being such a bad cop and for the damage you've inflicted on everyone around you. You also kept pausing to knock the heel of your hand against your temples, saying, "Stupid, stupid, stupid." It's a hard thing for a man to confront his past. That's why I avoid mine at all costs. Whoop-de-doo. So now I'm a fucking storyteller. Right, why not? Better than a beach bum. It depends, really. Are you willing to help me out?
You might get scammed here.
No, the reality of the situation requires a rather modest contribution, a little motivational package. Booze! Did you already forget our party? The thing I relayed to you earlier. So, have you got anything for good old idiot Doom Spiral? A bottle for a story. Seems fair to me. Then I will see you again once you've procured some. Par exemple, my good friend Rosemary here sells all kinds of stuff.
Rosemary.
All kinds, sir. Beer and wine.
We are saving the world.
Please.
Okay, we're drinking. So now it's a pirate. You too, tequilas.
我看一下我的酒哈，看一下我的酒啊，我有这个红奶酱，还有这个哈特酿，这个是那个什么啊罗宋汤加那个 whisky 吧。伏特加加罗宋汤的一个，我想说我好像可以把红准酱给他吧，我觉得。我在想说这个我有疑惑啦，我现在还可以3次，对不对？我比较有疑惑的是说，我到底，不然我先喝一口好了，我先喝一口。我先喝一口啊。但是我的每片剩下一个，哎，有点危险啊。唉，怎么每片只剩一个嘞？哎，右手，右手是，对啊。诶，我不是装备了吗？为什么？不太懂啊。不可能啊，因为我这个是保温瓶诶，他不可能把我保温瓶拿去的。他还可以用4次诶，那我这个红准酱为什么还可以用3次？为什么不行？诶。这奇怪了嘞！我再试试看啊！奇怪了嘞，为什么？ 好啦，试试看啦，我把红准酱给他。
Tequila? Of course. Drink first. Classy.
Hey, Spiral Boy, you gonna share that?
Don't call Abigail!
Shut up, guys. I'm telling a story here. Something happened to you. Something happened to me, too. My actual name is George. But around here, you already know. I was once a reasonably high net worth individual. A founder/junior partner at a high concept creative services agency. When my story begins, I had just landed a major contract with an insurance firm. I used the profits from my agency to finance what I called a cultural incubator. Abstract value generation, value per person, high concept stuff. I developed the paradigm, worked within the paradigm, but the burden of leadership weighed heavily on me. So I went jogging every so often to keep myself sane.
Paragon.
22 full-time employees, an all-star team, a potentially historical set of individuals. Worrying about them often kept me up well into the morning hours. It did. With my trusty Sansarique tracksuit, I felt like I could conquer the world. But now dreams are worn thin, much like my tracksuit. One day I left on my evening run. As you may know, it's impossible to clear your head when you're distracted by the sound of keys jangling in your pockets.
His eyes are clouded, his dilated blood vessels encircling his irises like stinging brambles. His eyes are your eyes.
So I removed the key ring and put the keys for the front gate and the apartment into different pockets to stop the jangling, you see? At least, that was the plan. I was halfway done with my usual lap when it started to rain. The reality situation became very wet, very quickly. I made my way back home and discovered that I didn't have the key to the front gate. I'd mixed it up with the key to the letterbox, which was useless. Naturally, the situation required me to climb over the gate, which I did. There was no climbing down because I slipped and landed on my ass. Reality was looking rather grim just then. Me lying on my ass in a mud pit in the middle of a heavy shower. But when life knocked me down, I always got up. So I made my way across the yard. Standing in front of my apartment door, fumbling with my pockets, I realized that I'd also forgotten my apartment key. I wish I were, Tequila. I wish I were. Instead of my apartment key, I'd taken the key to the office. I rang my neighbor's buzzers. It was late, and most of them didn't even answer. Those who did assumed I was trying to sell them something and hung up before I could even explain the situation. People are naturally wary of ad men, you see. One moment someone chats you up, 5 minutes later you've bought a box of edible lingerie and a strap-on. I don't begrudge them, especially since I was known to be one of the best. Just then, I experienced a moment of clarity. I still had the key to my office. I could wait out the storm there. But when I reached my office, I remembered that I'd asked one of my producers to change the locks that day. And since I hired only the best, he'd already done it, and I couldn't get in. Anyway, long story short, life spiraled out of control. I haven't gotten into my apartment for years, and my girlfriend left me because she didn't want to date a homeless man. The company, well, you see where I'm going with this. So, now you've heard my tragic tale. What do you think? Like nothing you've ever heard, huh? Tequila, I've thought about this series of events for a long time. If there was anything else to it, I would have thought of it by now.
Why didn't you go to the authorities?
Well, at one point they came to me, but, you know, I didn't have any ID on me. So they tossed me in jail for 2 days. I can't say it increased my faith in the RCM. No offense, gentlemen. Yeah, maybe I've exaggerated certain parts over the years. When you tell a story too often, it begins to take on a life of its own. But what matters is that it's true to my subjective experience. Anyway, that was all the story one bottle gets you. Almost empty, this one.
Truly, he has the soul of an artist.
"骗人啊！乱讲！靠，我的那可以喝3口了，我可以喝3口的酒，怎么就没啦？我当然喝1口就给你啊，喝剩下1口再给你就好了啊。幸好那个酒还可以买，亏大了我。
The noxious odor emanating from the drunken man is strong.
Don't you call her? Yeah! Don't call Abigail! Uh-huh. Abigail. Don't you fuck.
You're not going to get anything out of this guy. He's too drunk.
Don't you fucking call her! Hear me? Abigail? Don't call Abigail!
The man hiccups, then mumbles something unintelligible. He snorts and beckons you to lean in closer.
Don't call Abigail. Don't call Abigail.
Abigail.
There's no use in yelling at drunks. He's barely holding it together.
The drunk man starts coughing a real...
Don't call.
There was little chance he'd be a reliable witness anyway.
神经病。
Good to see you, friend. Do I have deals set up for you, buddy boy?
罗斯玛嘞，这他有卖酒是不是？
So what do you want? I got smokes. They're cheap. Very cheap. I got Pilsner. Great deal. You won't get a better deal on that piss. Spirits I can let go for 300 real. I also have speed. And by speed, I mean amphetamine.
啊，你这里都有卖哦，很厉害哦。加智力呢？哎，这个不错啊。加体格的呢，可以咯。快速丸我有啦，干安非他命，加体格，加智力啊，我觉得都可以买。
Bottoms up, Captain. My kind of guy. Here you go, friend. In the civilized world, it's a custom to tip the shopkeep, friend. But come back anyway.
少来还要我小费啊！这有东西耶，这什么东西？我装一下东西啊，拿这个钳子。有啦。 刚才我要喝酒，怎么不行喝嘞？真奇怪。
The scruffy-haired little boy kicks a stone. He can't be more than 5 years old.
Scruffy.
The other one looks indistinguishable from him. He watches his brother kick the stone with his tongue lolling out of his mouth. The kids don't reply, absorbed in their little game. The stone-kicking one becomes frantic all of a sudden, as if that's something to be scared of. The obvious fact that you just stated.
He looks just like me.
The boy doesn't answer. His brother throws another rock. Both of their hair is covered in some kind of dirt. The rock kicker was just being shy, but now he's enthusiastic again.
You're bad with kids. Don't worry, everyone is. How about we do some police work now? We're not getting anything here.
这边可以走了。这是不能走。先拿东西啊！这是什么？四字入门啊！哇靠，这也可以拿走哦？可以这样子随便拿的吗？
Hello, mister.
She clutches a small stuffed animal. Occasionally, she twirls it around.
Yes. They don't want to play with me. They're older and play outside. They look the same. Sometimes I can't tell them apart. They look identical. It's a grouse.
Grouse.
You might be able to get on Gart's good side if you make up for the skewer you broke.
对啊，不错啊。
Sure. I mean, you already took it. I don't like it anyway. It looks angry. My mom's outside, and I don't really know about my dad. It's Lammy. He's my friend. So...
Lambie is a stuffed lamb that, admittedly, has seen better days. One of the eye buttons is missing, and the fur is tattered in several parts.
Fluffy.
Yes, Lammy has lived a long life. Lammy was a... Yes! Lammy was a resolution... Eric. Bye!
You're not sure about the melody, but it might be South Samaran, possibly Sigayan, also known as the apricot suzerainty.
Welcome to the fishing village. Please lean in closer. I have cataracts.
Oh.
Then how does she know you're here?
I still have a golden ear. Come, come. Oh, welcome, police officer. We don't cause any trouble around here. And we don't want any trouble either.
We are not here to cause any trouble, madame.
Oh, of course. Last time we saw you around here was 12 years ago. You also came to take care of trouble then. Wish you did. But still, in Martinez, you're considered an ill omen.
Omen.
No, not you personally. I meant the RCM. Some of the men got into a fight. One of them killed another, locked himself in that woodshed over there. He was brooding, needed some help opening the door. You got it open for him and took him to think about what he'd done in a more secluded place, somewhere more quiet.
She says it as if he was on some kind of spiritual retreat.
So cool.
Oh, the usual. Dark tidings. Black hound. Maybe they are afraid, because you're an ill omen. But you're still welcome here, as long as men with guns aren't chasing you. And maybe even then, because that's the kind of fishing village we've built. I'm sorry there's not a lot of room to park the motor carriage, and not a lot of houses, or a lot of people. My kids are long gone, searching for treasure. So are others. Ah, look at me ramble on. What brings you to us? Stay? Most people here are trying to leave. That said, if lodgings is what you're looking for, I've got a free room in the shack. I won't charge you for it. Take it as a gesture of goodwill from the village to the RCM. That's exactly how they get ya. That's why we built our own cinder block houses on the seaside. So we don't have to give money to those crooks. They might not look like much, but they are ours.
可以啊，我可以在这新家。
Don't make an old woman regret opening her house to the police.
Well, if you are not in the hostel in the morning, I'll know where to find you. Here, in a shack.
Just us. It's barely a village anymore. We almost don't exist. This is pretty much a non-place. A gap. A blank spot on the map. Just a cluster of nameless shacks on a nameless street.
The place is so pornographically poor, it's not even funny.
Over there, you can find more of the same. Shacks and trees growing wild. That's the pox. An old military hospital and its surroundings. Or it used to be, during the time of the suzerain.
Suzerain. Suzerain. Susan.
After the war, it was turned into a goodwill hospital for shell-shock veterans and folks looking for some quiet in the old sanatorium gardens. Now the area is crisscrossed with nameless streets and makeshift cinder block houses, shacks as far as the eye can see. The goodwill ran out. The staff left and the place was shut down. It's long gone by now. The lack of wealth is the one thing we've got in abundance.
It's a cold, cynical smile.
Riddles. Fits with the general ambiance here.
Aye. Sometimes it's as though I'm also gotten lost inside this nameless nothing. As you please. Well, there's Lillian and her kids. A few new folks live in the house to the east, but they are away right now. And then there's the drunks. Not a pretty sight, but there's little we can do about it. Home is home, even for them. I'm sure you did. Nature keeps them in rotation. A new face pops up every now and then, and an old one disappears and is forgotten. This is who we are. Here, for you, no officer. The only money we have here is some coins the drunks tried hiding from their women and then forgot about.
Under carts, boats, in little boxes, it's not hard to find. She nods, rinsing another piece of cloth.
Not much. There's the abandoned church, the DeLorean Church of Humanity. It's been there since before my time, even. Some things just don't fly, officer. Look around. Who'd go to church here? They built it 300 years ago. Must have been nicer then.
So, they don't hold services there anymore? The Ecclesiastes?
No, we've tried, but things just keep happening. Crime, accidents, other things. The place never stays open. It's a pity. It used to be such a nice church. Before you get to the church, there's some ruins, an apartment complex, or some kind of electrical plant. Run-down bunch of houses, empty. I don't know exactly. A pre-war place. It used to be something. Before the war. I wasn't here then, you know. Was born in Samara. Of note, the old fish market up on the boardwalk. But it's closed. No one. That's why it's closed. It was once a bustling place, back when I was young, and so was everyone else. Now, what catch we do bring in goes straight into a lorry for the Delta or somewhere else. What? You're one of those real estate people with big plans? If you want a development opportunity, you can check out the abandoned building over at Land's End. Used to be a supply depot, we think, sending goods and ammo across the bay. It's jammed shut though. We tried to get in, see if there was anything to sell or scavenge, but it's impossible. And now you know everything there is to know about this coast. Me? No one. Just an old washerwoman. Mother called me Isabel, if that's what you're asking. And my married name is Sadie. Now it's your turn, Mr. Quite a handle you got there. So many titles. One of them double.
So， 赶晚上的时候，真的假？树立权威哦，我没办法。莫雷尔，但西南边呢？操！我在这里。在这里。干，还可以传送哦！靠，不知道讲，可以这样子哦。这是主要2个大城镇的，我在想。
The door has seen better days. The layer of paint has started to peel off due to the salt and wind from the sea. Even
I'll wait outside to give you some time, and after we are done with the day, I'll still be staying in the whirling in rags for the night.
the key turns with a satisfying click.
这边可以给我住就对了。这是莉莉，这是他妈。
Hi, officer.
这妹子还蛮正的哈。
Anything I can help you with? The name is Lillian. People call me Netpicker. I think I have time for questions. What are the other ones? Let's see. Who are you looking for? I don't think I know what these are. Care to elaborate? Aha! Like snowmen. 2 old guys have been wandering around here, nose in sand, talking nonsense about snowmen and the like.
Yes.
I don't really know. Further down the peninsula, I guess. I mean, that's where they were heading. Who else are you looking for besides snowmen? Well, how can I assist you then, officer? Oh? Who? Well, how can I assist? Like I said, fish mostly. Sail the waves, take care of the kids, pick nets. Right now, I'm tarring a little skiff. I sell the fish to people in the Delta to serve at their fancy restaurants. Authentic Insular Indian cuisine. Sometimes I also walk to the beach to see what the sea has given up. The sea is full of surprises.
Keep it professional, man. Don't make it sound like you're hitting on her.
哎呀！
Wood, pieces of glass. Every once in a while we see dead bodies. Human, animal, fish, other odd sea creatures. A mine washed ashore once. Bottles, drugs also. Lost cargo in general. Most of the time it's just wood and glass.
All right. Major choice moment. You only get to ask one thing. It would be weird to say them all. Choose wisely.
只能选一个哈。
Don't have any. Those get cleaned out so fast, even the local bums can only stand by and watch with watery mouths. Always by strangers, too. Union folk don't stand this kind of stuff around here. Unfortunately, the factory sold this one with a 3-year warranty instead of a story. It's to intimidate folks, mostly. Not really. I know some basic moves, and I know it sure as hell beats a knife when you're in a tough spot.
But not when you're in a tight spot.
It's a regular mass-produced sword, like a shovel or an axe. Nothing fancy, just for intimidation. From time to time, people need a lesson in respect. That's just the way it is. Back in the day, I caught the eyes of many men. And believe me, men need a lesson in manners from time to time. No, I'm afraid not. Tempting to confiscate the blade I used to keep these animals in check? You would put me in an early grave. Some went to patch their wounds, their lesson learned. Others were more thick-headed. And one of them, I ended up marrying. Gone. To the waves. The sea took him. It was a long time ago. He didn't respect the sea. Went out there, drunk like a skunk, and sure enough, one day the boat was found floating empty. The bloated corpse turned up 2 weeks later. Now, before you tell me how sorry you are for my loss, know that it was 4 years ago, and I've moved on. There's only so much mourning you can do for a drunk with sinewy muscles. Us working folk don't have the luxury to be bedsick with melancholy. I buried him, mourned for an appropriate amount of time, and went on.
Melancholy.
Life didn't really change that much for me and the kids.
She looks like she's ready to go on a date with another, better, drunk. Ask her. Both of you could need some action.
哦哟，这个游戏来到精彩的阶段啊！当然不要让金存在啊！我现在还不知道这个海岸有什么好的这个约会地点啊！当然不会这个时候搞他啦。这个你要抓，这个时机还会成熟啊。
Sure is. The sun, I call her, coated with a fresh layer of tar just yesterday. It'll take some time for it to dry, assuming the sunny days continue.
好，哎呀，不错不错，那有一些不错啦哈，有一些新的这个，我觉得不错哈。不错不错啊。我靠，五感发达哎，我觉得不错嘞，五感发达还不错。 感发达，我觉得是不错。哎，这里竟然是不能走过去的。我要赶快把那个科学家找到啊！重油。储存吧。哪里有车啊？探索模式。我可以到这里吗？哎，那边有人啊！这是鱼市哎。是这里吗？哎，可是这边有个大巨蛋哎。看我现在到底在哪？我找那2个人找不到。看我想要去这里，怎么去啊？这边要怎么过去啊？我要从这边过来。这是一个医院呐，哈，大家有讲过，这是以前在这个是收养老兵的医院呐。这是什么东西？士气，鬼丛玲珑。我看一下啊，不是好像这个裤子好像不错哎，五感发达。这个什么？哦，这个加2个呢，这个裤子是最强的哦。这是什么？
A scattering of bullet holes is spread across the cracked wall, reaching from one corner to the other.
Correct. The density of the bullet holes is unusual, even in a general average bullet hole frequency in Martinez sense. Grim affairs. Meaning, this is a lot of bullet holes. Looks like fully automatic rifle fire. Something you don't see these days.
他为什么有人在这边练
The
枪？
manufacturing and sale of automatic rifles was curtailed after the revolution. The destructive power of such tools proved to be too much. We do need to retain some humanity in this world.
我见为知着，一定过。我先存档，有些东西是一定要过的。
A scattering of bullet holes is spread. A row of ghostly shades stand facing the wall. There are many of them, a dozen at least, their heads lowered and eyes blindfolded. It's quiet, no sound, no movement.
哎呦，原来这边是在那边处决哦，哦。
10 meters away, other shades are lined up in an orderly manner, automatic rifles primed. A gust of wind blows by. The coats of the firing squad flap slowly in the breeze. A single person stands on the side. The sun blazes high up in the sky, baking the planks, the sand, your skin. The order was carried out in the afternoon. A long time has passed since the moment of this fusillading. Rain and brine have since washed all the blood away. Not a trace remains. The abundance of bullet holes leads to two options. Either an inordinate amount of executions were performed here, or they did not use a conscience round, where only one soldier has the loaded rifle. Looks like this was a mass execution with everyone fully armed. A host of men, probably in everyday clothes, ragged from the conflict and covered in dust. They were not sitting, a common practice for executions in some nations. As demonstrated by the height level of the bullet holes, they stand, facing the wall. It's impossible to discern any details about their personality or background. 7 men in combat uniforms and dark coats, holding automatic rifles aimed at the people. Soldiers from some side, but from which one? The commandant, the one who gives the order. Machine gun fire crackling through the air. The lights of the muzzle flashes dancing on his face.
I don't know. I don't know who died here, lined up beside that horrible wall. It could have been any of the parties involved in the revolution. Perhaps the ones executed here were the loyalist conservatives, killed by the communists at the start of the Civil War. Or it could have been the communists, put to death during the last stretch of the conflict by the coalition forces.
Okay.
It could even have been the employees of the failed R&D center down the coast, as their building was taken over by the revolutionaries.
Or maybe...
Yeah, it's very unlikely the coalition forces were the ones who died here. They were always the last ones against the wall. To be honest, if a coalition member was anyone in this situation, it was a commandant, the superior giving the orders.
Okay.
A cold sea wind blows away the figures.
干他妈，我知道了啦。我其实可以一开始就可以找到那个地方了，但是要穿那个啦。诶，是这个吧？试试看，可以吗？不行哦。不能走过去，是不是？为什么？这个品牌哦。这种能加2的都要，这种能加2的东西哈，我们就一定要去留意。哎，这就不能再点了，这些不能走的东西就不能再点。 就是他啦！靠，你老婆在找你啦，害我走过来那
Here
么
we
远。
go. Nice and easy. No way out, little guys. Not a
There's a cylinder on the ground in which the man is arranging some netting. It looks like some kind of trap. He notices you.
Who's there? Oh, the police. Hello, officers.
His self-conscious enthusiasm renders his movements ungainly. He looks like your understanding of a scientist.
Is that the police? Why are the police here?
Don't worry, Gary. I'll handle it. To what do I owe the pleasure?
That's sarcasm. He takes no pleasure from your appearance.
Oh no, it's all right. I'm just busy. What's this about? Of course. Thank you for passing along the message. That damn water lock is broken, and we can't go all the way around the 881.
The 881 is a raised motorway that separates Martinez from Jamrock. The labyrinth of streets underneath it makes it difficult to pass, not like walking over a nice water lock.
Oh, good. We should really be getting back. Gary could use a hot shower and a warm bed.
对啊，
Did he say we can go back now?
Yes, Gary. We can go soon. If you see Lena, tell her I won't be long.
Sir, your wife is waiting.
I just have to do one more round. See if the phasmid has taken the bait. Then we're going.
竹节虫。
Well, first of all, it's damn difficult to find, which is why we've been knee-deep in the reeds laying traps for it. Good question. Being a phasmid of the order Phantasmodea, a ghost insect, it disguises itself as plant matter. In this case, the reeds. Awful lot of reeds around, aren't there? And I suspect it may have also developed other specialized techniques to protect itself from predators, or scientists, in our present case. It's my hypothesis that it has evolved certain electrochemical defenses that allow it to interfere with animal perception, impeding pattern recognition, confusing the visual cortex. But I cannot describe how these defenses work, much less how they evolved, without studying a live specimen.
A ghost insect, he said? These people are looking for a ghost.
No, that is precisely what we're not. We are zoological specialists, looking for an extant species of phasmid. I'm expecting it to be quite giant. One known species of phasmid, called the Megaphasmodea zoensis, is about the size of a grown man's forearm. So...
Seems puny, to be honest.
Very little, I'm sorry to say. No one's ever captured a specimen, so all our information is based on first and third-hand accounts. Not yet. That's what makes it a cryptid.
Cryptid.
Just out of curiosity, if there's no proof of its existence, how do you know it's real?
I know it's real.
It's clear that his obsession with the phasmid is driven by something more than the pure pursuit of scientific advancement.
By which I mean,
I've heard enough first-hand accounts to believe quite firmly that the Insulindian phasmid is more than mere superstition. There was a credible sighting here recently. A pair of teenagers described a creature that matched the Insulindian phasmid to an uncanny degree, despite not knowing what it was themselves. It's the first credible sighting in several decades. Admittedly, it's an unusual location for this species, but with all the sewage runoff upstream, it probably doesn't matter much anymore. I have to resist the thought. Such an extraordinary creature is doubtlessly highly resilient. After all, it's generally thought to be capable of parthenogenesis.
He means asexual reproduction. The females of the species don't need to mate to produce viable eggs. This makes it easier for a species with a small population to survive.
Yes, the Insulindian phasmid is a very clever insect. That's why it's so damn difficult to catch. But as a scientist, I'll try my best to remain dispassionate. Well, they may not look impressive, but Lena designed them quite cleverly, so I'm sure they'll do the trick. Yes. Simple. Attracted by the locusts, the phasmid crawls down the funnel and, having eaten its fill, can get back out. At least, that's the intention. The net isn't a perfect solution, but we didn't want to use anything that might damage the specimen's delicate exoskeleton. Locusts. Nearly all known phasmids are herbivores, of course. But we've hypothesized that the Insulindian phasmid might occasionally prey on other insects.
Inside the traps, a number of locusts crawl and tumble over one another in a tiny, chittering swarm.
Crow. Swarm. Crow.
A meat-eating stick insect? Does it pretend to be the reeds as part of its ambush behavior? This seems unlikely.
Thank you for your opinion. We have also included plant material in the traps to satiate your skepticism. They'll work, I assure you. The predatory hypothesis, using locusts as bait, accounts for the failure of previous efforts by other teams, which use plants.
The traps do seem to be deftly and thoughtfully constructed. It's clear the cryptozoologist's wife knows what she's doing.
Deft.
Yes. What? By woman, you mean my wife, I assume? I will return to her. I can't leave before we finish with these traps. My wife understands that just as well as anyone.
Come on, Morale. We've been soaking out here for days. It's time to go back.
And leave the traps? Absolutely not. I won't let Lena down.
Come on, she wants us back. I'm soaked up to my nuts over here. We'll both catch reed crabs if we don't dry out soon.
Of course it's important to her. She's seen it. A verified sighting, on record. One of only 4 this century, and it's hers.
She's seen it?
Yes. That's how we first came to know one another, in fact. But that's her story to tell, not mine. Suffice to say, it's long been our dream to find proof of the Insulindian phasmid together. I can't abandon course now. No. The traps need to be monitored on a regular schedule. What would we do if the Phasmid were to starve while we were sipping tea at the hostel?
I could go for some trap setting.
I didn't expect you to take such an interest in our work here, officer. Yes, indeed. Both require a great deal of research, attention to detail, and, above all, persistence.
Persistence.
Bring it to me at once. Just make sure the trap is closed tight.
He's not comfortable with the possibility that you'll claim the find, but he's lying about this even to himself.
There are 4 in total. One is to the south, on this little peninsula, by the boathouses there. Another we set in Land's End, to the northeast. It's behind a small sand dune there, on your way to the old radio tower, after the church. The third is set near the canal, where you crossed, by a concrete slab. A big thicket of reeds going up the slope, and among them, you should check at least one of those before returning to this one, since I just said it. This one's more of a technicality, but still, better safe and stupid than sorry.
That seems like a lot. Do we really have time for this extracurricular venture?
Extracurricular adventure.
Is it?
That's highly unlikely, officer. But in the event you do, I'll spray you with a pheromone mixture I developed. It's made of musk and research chemicals. The pheromone should attract the insect to you, or at least prevent it from bolting at the sight of you. It's quite potent. Will last you about a week.
Musk.
Wise choice.
I hope you're not buying this. He dispenses it without letting you touch the canister, so it would be precious like holy water.
It is precious. A single dose cost me 50 real to develop. Not that I expect you to understand self-financing one's own research.
Right, which means you two can pack up and go back to the whirling.
Finally, someone's talking sense.
Thank you for your help. Gary and I will start breaking down camp. If you have any more questions, now's the time to ask. We'll be gone once.
If it's more cryptid-related business you want to discuss, you'll have time for that later too. But what if the information is vital? On the hunt. What about his eager-to-leave friend Gary there? Talk to him too, perhaps.
I've just always liked animals and puzzles. Searching for cryptids is a bit of both. Yes? All right. What cryptids precisely? I usually discuss these things with specialists, so I don't know what.
We would have to discuss. He wants to say, but decides against it. Since you've offered to help, you need to ask him about specific cryptids. Cryptids you've heard about from Lena, or his friend Gary. He won't just talk.
I see you've been talking about cryptids with Lena. The kind green ape is one of her favourites. We travelled to South Safra to look for it once. Gary and I got stuck in a rainstorm though, and had to spend most of our time there in a little village. The search was fabulously unsuccessful. but the people were very nice. I'm glad they didn't understand what Gary was saying about them.
What? South Safra? They're just on a different rung of the ladder, Morel. I had no problem with them.
Really? You kept complaining about how dirty everything is. But we digress.
They're a nascent culture. I just didn't feel comfortable. And let's change the topic, okay? Talk about your critters. Or whatever.
By all means.
咦，好吧，你跟这个 Gary 讲一下好了。哎，为什么他都一定要这样子？
Hello, I'm Gary. Very generous of you to help us out, officer. Yellow man. I mean, officer.
The lieutenant raises his eyebrows slightly and takes out his notebook. Yellow man. Interesting. This is something to ask him about, after a little probing first.
I'm just waiting for my friend Morel to finish up with his insect traps so we can return to civilization. I like nature, just not this bloody coast. It's mostly drunks and degenerates that come here.
Degenerates? This man respects authority too much. To see the truth inscribed upon thine own visage. Pretend thou art a paragon of virtue.
I've been tempted on occasion, but someone has to stay strong for Revocol.
He pronounces Revocol with a hard K, unlike other people.
My mug? Why would you think that?
His eyes widen at the sight of the mug. He's seen it before, all right.
I may have had a similar looking mug in the past. That's all. Okay, I admit it. I threw the mug away in the trash container behind the hostel. I know I shouldn't have, and I am very sorry, officer.
是他丢的，那你又没有钥匙，你怎么丢？
You're not going to find me, are you?
Using a standard form, officer. It's 50 real. You're getting off easy. In return, we expect information. You have questions to answer, sir.
Yes.
What did you do, Gary?
Nothing. Nothing. Just answering some questions.
有回到主线的话，我觉得还行啊，不会脱离太久啊。
I know a guy who works with the trash collection services, CS Municipal. He gave me a master key for the trash containers of Martinez.
Master key 耶。
So I can use the Whirling's trash compactor to store my own stuff. Garbage disposal is expensive as hell. The damn Chimeans run it like a mob.
垃圾压缩机。 哦，他就是可以自己丢垃圾啦，他就是他就是要去丢垃圾而已啊。
I'm sorry, okay? I thought I could cut costs. I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have disgraced myself.
哎，干，那你等一下啊，那你是住在那个，那他的住的地方不就是在那个院子后面吗？是他吗？
Disgraced? No need for the histrionic, sir. It was, after all, just a trash container.
He studies his reaction. Gary doesn't answer.
Officer, please. Let me explain. It's not like that. I was only cleaning up. I live right across the yard from where he was hanged, and I saw him stripped naked. All the clothes lying around in the yard, smelling. People are animals, you know? Then I came out to clean up the rags because no one else would. I put them into the whirling's trash, along with a broken mug, admittedly.
就是他哦。
Okay. I was coming to throw the mug away, and, well, I threw the mug there and the clothes too.
Right. It was just civic duty.
Citizen duty.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was.
也不一定哦。
Civic duty.
As he shifts uncomfortably, a series of clicks, like the clinking of glass beads, against one another as they roll across a hardwood floor. You've heard this sound before, but where?
What sound? I haven't the slightest. There's lots of weird stuff out here in the reeds, though. Insects, trash. Could be the wind shifting some garbage nearby.
The sound you heard was not the sound of something easily abandoned.
奇怪。
What sound? Really? There's lots of weird stuff out here.
The sound you heard was not the sound of something easily abandoned.
Armor? No. I mean, yes. Of course. I know he was wearing armor, but I don't know anything about it.
An infant could see he's not telling the truth, but he's too scared to admit more wrongdoing. There's something going on here. You should observe him more closely after this topic is concluded.
他有问题是不是？
I hope I could help your investigation, in my small way.
Don't be so relieved yet, Gary. This bad cop may have been in your apartment, admiring your mug collection. Perhaps a little intimidation?
I told you everything I know, sir. I'm truly sorry for the mug, but I have nothing to do with that.
He's not feeling too comfortable in his own skin. Odd, I'd say. Uncomfortable shifting around doesn't make him the killer, though. It's something else.
I like to pronounce it the hard way, the old way, the Vespertine way.
He winks at you, trying to relay some hidden message, inviting you to mispronounce it too, perhaps. It's a secret rite, a very fringe nationalist handshake, probably.
Fringe.
Garbage. You're a true patriot, and you know how it's said. The Savannah way, the fine way, with an elegant s.
No. I help Morel with research sometimes, and I've learned some things along the way. But I don't usually go in for picnics like this on my own.
After all this time with Morel, he must have an opinion on cryptids. This could lead to a good one.
Oh, yes, the burning rhino. Morel doubts he's real, but I don't much care, because I won't be the one looking for him out in Safra Serai. A rhinoceros that looks ordinary during the day, but burns brightly by night. Well, at least the males do. The flames are not just for decoration. They are an integral part of the beast's mating behavior.
Integral.
During the burning rhino's mating season, herds of male rhinos, all aflame, encircle herds of female rhinos, forming a fiery ring as they begin to copulate loudly. Local peasants call it the passion ring. They fear the rhinos, as perhaps they should. Anyway.
The lieutenant sighs without looking up from his notes.
They have special ducts just above their shoulder blades that secrete a combustible fluid. When the rhino is just beginning to light itself, it looks as though it has wings of fire.
But how is this combustible fluid lit?
The rhino starts running very fast to build heat, then stops, raises its head, and sparks fly from its neck, setting its back ablaze.
屁啦.
Yeah, well, Revacol used to be a flaming rhino once, a long time ago. That seems unlikely too.
Super solid argument, Gary. Can't argue with that.
Sure do.
His eyes narrow slightly. He's wondering where this is going.
In my home. Yes. When I was going to... How did you know? Is this about the Union? Did the big man open the door? So you work for Everard Clare? Officer, please tell him we're good. No, tell him I'll make it up to him.
口气变了。
What have I done? He'll send the muscle after me.
As he lowers his tone, he hunches his back.
Of course. I won't do it again. If there's anything I can do to assist you, or the Union, just ask, okay? I'll try to help if I can.
This scared him proper. He's positively melting from fear. Has to prop himself up with a lot of anger to keep it together.
The weather vane has turned. He cannot be unturned.
Not many Sealites here, or anywhere, other than Sail. I meant no offense, truly.
Do you remember how, when we met Measurehead and I said the next races will be a really good one? Well, this is that racist.
Hey, man. All I meant was there are not many Sealites around here. I'm just stating a fact. No problem at all.
从容自若。 等一下啊，存档。这个关键来了哈。这个我集了这么多点数，我现在就是要来个从容自若了，看有什么厉害的。从容自若+1，还有什么是可以从容自若的呢？哎呦！有没有什么是减少从容自若的呢？好，从容自若是属于身手，对不对？好，我看一下有什么可以增加身手的。身手这个啦，快速玩我觉得不错哈。身手，体格，香烟啊，不是，这个是体格，身手，心智也增加了。我来这个好了啦，是这个好了。哎，但是这可以吗？不行哎，这个有 bug 是不是啊？我就不懂了。我现在要用这个怎么不行啊？快速玩，这为什么这个可以啊？等级不够是不是？而且这个点哦，你还要，它这个接触范围很精准哦，而且还是在这下面。我不知道为什么设计成这个样子。OK， 从容自若6了，我随便跟他讲一定过了。
Always a pleasure. I mean, officers.
有啊。
That shirt looks very uncomfortable on him. Look at the buttons, barely keeping that thing together, as if something is ready to rip out from underneath.
对啦，他穿的是盔甲，我觉得是。
Yes, like a piece of ceramic armor, for example. One that makes a clicking sound when the plates meet each other, resembling pearls or marbles, stolen from the corpse in the yard near where he lives.
对，没错，他就是要把那个，我懂了啦，他就是其实他想要偷整套的 ceramic armor， 他想要偷整套的。然后因为他要偷呢，因为这种盔甲通常是穿在衣服里面的，也就是说，因为他要把这个盔甲拿下来呢，他就把他的衣服呢脱下来了。但是呢，脚的部分呢，靴子的部分就拿不下来，因为它非常难拿下来。就像我们之前把这个尸体拿下来的时候呢，靴子也是拿不下来。后来我是等这个助手呢去睡觉，我偷偷的一个人把它拿下来的。所以说他
I knew you'd figure it out, officer. I'm sorry I didn't tell you at once. I was ashamed of what I did. And I didn't want you to know.
We're not detecting falsehood, sire. He's gearing up to admit the truth.
Gary, what's going on?
Later, Morale. I've got apologizing to do.
No, you've got explaining to do.
对。
Because I was weak. I should have told you the moment I saw you. But...
The hell, Gary? You in trouble?
I'll explain later.
He sighs again, hangs his head, and unbuttons his shirt fully. A cuirass that matches the dead man's boots comes into view. Soon it is in your hands, smelling of his sweat. But so light to hold, like a bag of cotton.
Everyone was picking those pieces off him, and I was watching them do it. And they scattered his clothes all over the yard. Everything was smelling. So I went there to take out the trash and started cleaning up. All those rags on the ground, him swinging up there, and I had a lapse of honor, sir. I thought, he's a foreigner. They all say he wasn't from here. Only the cuirass was left, so I stripped it off him. It was early in the morning, no one saw me. I took it with me. It was a mistake. Had I known it'd give you guys trouble, I wouldn't have... Fuck.
We're detecting sincere contrition here, sire. He's not trying to flatter anyone.
It's okay. It was a loose end, and you are tying it up now.
I'm so fucking sorry I called you Yellow Man. Seal-like officers commanded the suzerain's navy. Most of them sided with the king when...
They were thoroughly conservative men, he realizes suddenly. It's difficult to say what the lieutenant thinks of this historic apology. His face does not belie emotions.
I always thought it was the Union, but I sure as hell won't go around saying that anymore. You have my word. I don't know, and I won't be running my mouth on this subject anymore.
This is all he knows.
Yes, absolutely. I will never do anything like this again. I won't mess with Mr. Clare either. You have my word.
你是偷东西耶，这个是开罚单吧？这个是偷窃罪呗。啊！检查，我还要去检查那个，不想要啊！靠，这个盔甲，我靠，坚韧不拔和意志坚定。 同舟共进，坚为执着，可以啊，觉得还不错。穿上去看看好了，穿上去看看。看，哎呦，哎，会有叮的一声呢。哦，难怪我刚刚有听到叮的一声，是因为这个东西哦。 哎呦，强健身体跟思维逻辑，原来是这样。他叮了一声，刚才那个叮的一声就是在讲这件事情。哎，看5点啊，我觉得。 不能过去啊！你现在在哪里呀？我们现在应该是在这边吧？还是在这里啊？这边吧？哦，这边有一个行人在，这边是有处决的地方哎，所以说我们已经在这里了。 然后这个鱼市上面这边就已经快到教堂了，因为快到底了哎。怎么上去的？我上去看看。这是谁？我 先不用跟他讲话，讲的没完没了。这个是好像要穿东西啊，这个吧。对啊，栅栏挡住了，我的那个尖嘴钳没办法弄栅栏嘛。
You see a once bright mural towering above you. The signage has peeled off over the years, but you can still make out Feld Electrical R&D.
Feld.
A slogan used to intertwine with the loops a long time ago. Now, only a shadow of peeled letters remains. It says, tomorrow is just a whisper away.
Looks like tomorrow never came.
And Mikhail noticed the windows, especially with how there are no windows on the south side. This was to deal with. You officers, come to investigate the historic subtext of West Martinez? I'm Tran Heilostam. You must be Kim Kitsuragi, right? I was just telling my son about this building. Not a lot of people realize the historic significance here. Very rich in hypertext.
Nice to meet you.
Yes, hypertext. Young Carp and the collection of cultural hyperlinks.
Hybrid.
He's just making up fancy words. This doesn't mean anything.
Oh yes, so Mikhail. They had to deal with monitor glare, especially in the summer. They still had vector monitors back then. That was 49 years ago. So they didn't have windows on the south wall. No, I can't say that we've met before, but I've heard of Kim, of course. Mikhail, say hi to the officers.
Mikhail.
Mikhail's a little tired today. We spent all night trying to run Orbis on his radio computer. Have you heard of it? It's a programming language used in Grad. Quite tricky, but he wanted to play this Grad-made adventure program. We've been getting really into Worms lately.
The man speaks in the artificial cadence of a professor, or someone who's been on too many radio shows.
But I assume you're not here for giant worms when there are so many real things to see. Just as I was telling Mikhail before, this is where the Coalition landed in 08. We could be standing on what is the most interesting landmark in Revachol West.
This man is your half-brother. You feel it. But why?
Why?
Well, get a load of this guy. He really enjoys his trivia. The Orbis programming language was named after its inventor, Victor Orbis, a cybernetician from Grad. They run Vox in the Occidental countries.
Aha! But it's not just any empty old building. What not a lot of people know is this used to be the R&D department of Feld Electrical. And Feld, which now sells ink cartridges mostly, was once a top dog in the turn-of-the-century cybernetics boom.
It looks old and weathered, with seagulls picking apart its stone and metal carcass. Bushy undergrowth has taken hold of the collapsed rooftop. Some kind of bird has set up a nest on a broken windowsill.
That's not surprising. Only a vestigial ink cartridge and ferrotape manufacturer remains. They started out as a midway electronics outfit in Königstein 2 centuries ago. After an aggressive move to Revachol, Feld became a global player in the emerging personal electronics market of the pre-revolutionary era. Still, Tricentennial was beating them in business machines. But Feld had an ace up their sleeve, or should I say they were developing an ace up their sleeve? I'm mixing my metaphors here. It was here in Martinez, possibly in this very building, that they developed prototypes for a tape computer.
Tape computer.
An elegant folding mechanism of rollers and ferrotape ribbons, portable enough to be a take-it-home solution, revolutionizing business machines, possibly even bringing them to the average consumer, which is a feat of engineering even today's giants, Rehm, ICN, and ZAM, haven't achieved yet.
He assumes something like a combat stance, facing the wind.
Indeed. What?
The revolution!
Unfortunately, their moonshot project never made it to the market. Feld's move to Revachol backfired. The revolutionary government liquefied their assets and expropriated those very advanced prototypes. Possibly from this very building, or one of the adjacent ruins. All of this was built by Feld, even the boardwalk. Wild Pines built Martinez proper as a resort for their middle management. Feld built this side of town for R&D. Yes, they even built a pleasure wheel, but that got destroyed in the war.
A pleasure wheel?
Yes, to lure in their star engineers. This part of Martinez was nothing but reeds before Feld arrived. They had to make the prospect of living here attractive. It was supposed to become a global center for innovation in cybernetics. But history had other plans. Oh, I'm afraid it didn't end well for the boys. But this story is a bit too dark for little Mikhail here. Now, if you were to ask about tape computers...
He means that the boys got shot by the communists. The boys were bourgeois.
Bourgeois. Bourgeois.
Officer, I told you this chapter of history wasn't on Mikhail's curriculum yet. Let's keep this kid friendly.
The boy looks first at you, then back at his father, confused.
They used them for military communications, but also to write and send out press releases, the most notorious example being Le Décret de Mars.
Notorious.
What's the Mars Decree? I mean the radio transmission sent out to news agencies and world governments by the newly created Commune of Revachol on the 7th of March in the year 02.
A short-lived legislative foundation for a short-lived utopia.
Utopia.
It's a beautiful piece of text, actually. A singer-songwriter I know, Charette, called it a love poem to Revachol on her political concept album, Bon Baiser dans ce Lind. You should read it. Every local library in Revachol stocks a copy of the decree. I tried to get Mikhail to memorize it. Tried to. Someone was much too interested in worms to be paying any attention.
The kid takes a peek at the green and silver worm on the cover of the book, already forgetting about this part of the discussion.
Actually, no one knows. No one even knows what a computer made entirely of tape would look like. But word has it, they were very elegant, exquisite, alien-looking turn-of-the-century hardware.
Buckle up.
10 years ago, I did a little freelancing, I guess you could say.
Wait, did he just say Wumpty Dumpty Dum? He did it. He said Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center. What the hell is a Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center? And who the hell are Keith and Guy?
The Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center for Contemporary Arts. The exhibition itself drew on Lagerman's notion of memory, and so there were some parallels. That's why the head curator, Paul Ockerman, chose to... In fact, I'm not. The Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center is a place you can visit if you're ever in Vredefort and are ever in the market for an exhibition space / contemporary art research center. But perhaps I should return to the tape computers. As I was saying, the device itself was very elegant, fragile even. One could write directly on the tape using a special chemical solution. The machine would then analyze the handwriting, perform operations, and project output onto a white screen. It was a beautiful, delicate thing.
Made of black film and folding tape structures.
Very, very cool. Though I understand the socio-economic causes of the revolution, it pains me to imagine the revolutionaries setting fire to this precious device. But so they did. The felt playback experiment vanished into the fires of '07. Who knows? Maybe it was an accident, or maybe they didn't want the technology to end up in the wrong hands. Either way, they're all gone now. All 3 versions of the prototype. Nothing but debris and ashes remain inside that building. But of course, what else? I do have some money, yes, but that's not what's really important here.
No, I mean, come on. You need the money. If it's not a thing, he can give you some.
Oh no, I don't have it on me, officer. I was talking in more general terms. I'm just spending time with my kid here, showing him around the lesser-known parts of our hometown. It wouldn't be wise to carry huge amounts of cash on such expeditions.
Not that he would have to worry about being robbed. He looks surprisingly buff. Does he work out?
I do some Lomantang stick fighting now and then.
Lo Mantang stick fighting is a form of martial arts originating from the island of Lo Mantang. It uses slender wooden sticks for confronting the opponent.
Lomantang stick fighting is a little like a Berolidin addiction. I've been practicing it for nearly 20 years now, so you could say that my doses have grown a little peculiar.
Dad's fighting with sticks every night after dinner for 4 hours. He has a special room for that, and a special costume.
That's right, Mikhail. It also has a meditative quality, helps to clear my head. But anyway... Sure, what's on your mind? But of course, what else? No, thanks to you for having me and little Mikhail here to pick your brain. A very interesting conversation indeed.
Pick your brain? If anything, this was rather one-sided. He did the talking. Whatever.
你到底拿了没啦？拿。哦，敌兵通弹拿。
The remaining windows rattle from a strong gust of wind. They're covered in a thick layer of grime. They must have been like this for 40 years.
No, I won't even try. You know, I had a partner once. They called him Eyes, because he had to show me things. It's that bad. Well enough, actually. It's odd how that works. I'm no sharpshooter, but I pass my shooting courses 7 out of 10.
His hands lead the way when it comes to that. And his shoulders.
要怎么进去啊？这个要怎么进去啊？
A metal payphone under a yellow plastic dome. You could use it to call someone. unless you're out of change.
话筒。哦，是可以走了，都是可以走了。我靠！我靠！这么多东西啊！全部都被他拿。为什么这个柱子上面会有这个东西呢？这是哪里呀？感觉是教堂是不是？这是教堂哎。我这样子，我几乎把整个游戏地图都已经搞过一遍了，因为我来到教堂。有一个人在这边研究
A pane of eternite has been planted into the snow. 2 poles are holding it up. Barely holding it up. It could fall over any minute. A stronger gust of wind.
It looks like a makeshift bridge. Could be convenient.
The pane falls into the icy snow with a soft thunk.
We should ask that girl on the ice what's going on here.
拿东西呀！9点我要去那个嘞。哎，这个钱越来越多了。
The tent is just tarpaulin fabric covering a pile of stuff. The flap is open. Inside, 3 young men are listening to some new form of music. It's like nothing you've ever heard. One of them looks at you.
Come on, get in and close the flap behind you. The warm stuff's getting out. Sorry, you barely have room for one.
You go ahead. I'm too old for this.
I'm actually not, he thinks. I just dislike delinquents.
I'm sure you will feel right at home. I'll keep watch.
Delinquents. 什么烂音乐啦？啊，我没时间跟你们混啦，存档吧。5点了，快6点了，跟这个妹讲一下话就好了。我现在自然是教堂了。哦，然后这个是 哦，那只剩下这个摩天轮而已呢。希望不要讲太多啊。
A shaggy-looking girl in her late teens or early 20s kneels on the ice with an electronic contraption in her hand. Hearing you approach, she looks up.
Oh, hello there.
Everyone knows drugs make you invulnerable to cold. You bet this one likes to party.
Huh?
Maybe she didn't hear you. A little louder.
So should you.
You don't have to do anything.
Real cool.
Way to abuse that power, man, she says, thinking you can't hear her. She bats away your questions like flies. She's not intimidated by mere police officers.
Like what? A cell.
Her hair is dyed blonde, with dark roots showing. There's a coarseness to her features, some masculinity below that timidness.
Why? Okay, it's Burger.
Burger.
A very common name.
This is a portable recording device. It's for field recording. Low quality, but still. Actually, just one wire. I picked on it till the braiding came loose. The wire leads to a contact microphone. A contact mic records sounds from inside things, like this ice.
Your mangled brain would like you to know there is a boxer called Contact Mike.
Mango.
No idea.
Yeah, I record stuff with it. No. This is a contact microphone. It's for recording inside solid objects. Contact mic just beats people up. The mic? I don't exactly know. Somehow it doesn't pick up vibrations from the air. The book said it only picks up structure-borne sound, if you like technobabble. Same place I got the recorder from, the Palaceum. Oh man, you haven't been to the Palaceum? It's the coolest place in this whole drug-addled shithole. It's a music club and a synthesizer workshop on Boogie Street in Jamrock. Musicians live there, like real musicians. I once saw Arno van Eyck. Oh yeah, guess you wouldn't know Van Eyck. Or really be a Palaceum-going kind of person. Yes? Okay. Recording, I guess. I think I'm recording cracks in the ice, but there's no way to tell. Not without headphones. I think I just recorded your footsteps too. Not sure how that will sound.
What happened to the old headphones?
My boyfriend sold them. I don't know, man. Things. Just stuff you need for life.
A lie. They were probably pawned off for something suspicious.
The musicians in the Palaceum used them for making music. They looped the stuff, cutting the tapes together. They make music out of cracks in the ice and keys jangling. Crazy sounds like that. It's hard to explain. Anyway, I thought I'd make some too. It's supposed to be, like, a music place anyway. I don't really know what I'm doing. They use synthesizers too. I don't have a synthesizer.
The sharp drop in endorphins is almost visible, like a warm blanket has fallen off her shoulders. The wave of chill, the quivering jaw, indications of a drug high.
Take this, you're cold.
No, man, fuck that, I'm cool. I'm sorry I said that. I'm sorry about the fuck.
It's okay.
Yeah, maybe you were right about the hat. Thanks. That? The boys think it could be a place, like the Palaceum or something. Stupid. It's really not gonna be a Palaceum, that's for sure.
And who are these boys?
Yeah, Andre and the guys, they're inside, in the tent.
And why is that?
They got too much stuff crammed in there, no room. Music stuff mostly. Like this tape recorder, but bigger. And there's piles of it. Yep, they were pretty. I'm sorry we sold those. That stuff is more expensive than I am. More expensive than any of us, really. Doesn't matter, I can take the cold. That? The boys think it could be a place, like the Palaceum or something.
And who are these boys?
Yeah.
And why is that? She looks back at her tape recorder.
Go ahead.
通达琴。
It's supposed to become, like, a club for anodic dance music, like that new style of synthesizer stuff they play at the Palaceum. Except that, yeah. You know, anodic, cathodic, music that's made with electronic instruments. Synthesizers and tape consoles. Microcomputers too. Anything that uses electricity, but isn't guitars. Also found sounds, stuff like that.
This is an evolutionary step up from amplified instruments, which in turn are a step up from acoustic instruments. What comes after it, you wonder? A black-tinted nothingness, or something finer?
I know. It's not my idea. Andre and the boys found the place. It was supposed to be deserted, but now they can't even take it. Hey, you two are cops. Okay, well, maybe you could talk to Andre and the guys, because there are some strange things going on in that church. If you're police, you should look into it, right? They're inside that thing there. Would be cool if you did. Was there something else? Go ahead. Well, it's just questioning, right? You're just questioning me. It's what cops do.
Fast and clean, a good one. Can't quite say it's a lie, but it feels like one. She's better at lying than she'd like everyone to know.
Once or twice, yeah. I'm sorry I haven't had the Revachol experience they get east of the river. Rich people. Rich people are east of the river. Oh, they are, and I'm scum.
Scum. Scum.
Oh, but I am. The usual. I had a shitty run as a teenager. You know, drinking, getting into fights. The ugly stuff that happens when you move out your parents' place at 13. In Forberg.
Interesting term. Time to glean some knowledge.
Is this a rhetorical question?
Forberg, not in Forberg, is a massive banlieue south of Jamrock Quarter. It is the largest ghetto in Revachol, possibly the world.
My dad was a drunk. Plus, I guess, I just wanted to drink too, you know. Get my party on. Thank you? I'll try.
通达情理。
Okay, bye.
通达情理，我有可能通达情理吗？任何通达情理，通达情理减1。好像有一个衣服超强的是通达情理。这个只有一个通达情理，一个通达情理。我的那个 boost 已经过去了哈。通达情理是心智的。我先通达情理啊。有哪些是减少通达情理的？这个啊，那我要穿这个啊，这样子我通达情理就加1了，是不是？通达情理。 然后我再心智，对不对？我再来喝个这个心智，这是心智嘛，对不对？通达情理，心智嘛，心智嘛，就这个啊，心智啊。 哎，奇怪，为什么现在这个不能喝啊？我不懂啊，这怎么不能喝？是有 bug 吗？我不懂，现在那个不能喝。但是不管它啦。 主要把那个探索完了，可以过去吗？天哪！不给我过去，竟然要绕一大圈呢！我先不会进去的啦，先捡东西呀。 可以进去吗？
Heavy wooden doors, more than twice your height, stand shut in front of you.
They shut in front of you. 这可以过去啊。
Someone has left an unidentifiable article of clothing on this railing. It smells really bad. It's streaked with dried seagull shit and tangled with pieces of seaweed. A dangling arm suggests that there might be a jacket beneath the crust of filth. It seems likely that it was left in the surf until someone laid it out on this fence to dry out. Unfortunately, that just seems to have stiffened it into a shapeless mass.
Please tell me you're not taking that with you. It's a guano-encrusted jacket, and you're already carrying around.
你可以看啊。
As you hold it in your hands, it makes an uncomfortable crunching sound. It's a sordid, filthy tale, not for the weak. Are you sure you can stomach? Some secrets are better left uncovered. Don't even try. Seriously. It occurs to you that you're not even holding the jacket itself, but rather the thick crust of jetsam and seagull shit. That it smells like a dead sea creature, tangled in grey strands of seaweed. It must have spent quite some time in the water before the tide deposited it ashore. Why? Why did you think about it? Look at your hands. They're covered in muck. Now you're just flicking that shit everywhere. This is a...
就这样子啊。哟，博学多闻哎，拜托，博学，我已经超级博学多闻了。妈的，探索到底了嘞！哎呀，都探索到底了。
The smell. It's awful and familiar. It doesn't help. You can still smell it. Don't you recognize it? That hideous pungency, that faintly cloying sweetness. Only death smells like that. Something cold wakes in the pit of your stomach. Fear. It is death. It must be. The lieutenant has already brought a handkerchief.
Eyes up, detective.
There's some tear, an empty cigarette packet.
先不要搞啊！等一下，我现在到底在哪？看，现在怎么样了？我现在点数这么多，我应该来开一个锁呗。 啊，这个是摩天楼啦，这原本是有一个摩天巨轮的，对吧？应该是。先不要搞，先走到那边去看，这边可不可以走？天色暗了啊。 地图探索完。哇！可以捡的我几乎都捡了。
There's a trap in the reeds at your feet. Looks like the same one you saw Morel set before. The reeds shake sadly. The wind picks up here, near the cape's end. Locusts are crawling around in the trap, confused but uneaten.
Big surprise. Anyway, 1 down, 3 to go. No, you weren't.
哼。这是尽头了呢。对啊。但是我不知道为什么他要没有把摩天轮给画出来。领带啊。就这样吧，全部地图我都已经探索完了。整个游戏的地图啊，全部探索。
An old door, worn by elements, guards the depot. The wind has blown a sand dune in front of it. The door hasn't been opened in a long while. You see...
It's military. A service depot of some sort. The washerwoman mentioned a depot up the coast. She said it was for moving ammo and cargo across the bay. This might be it.
好，你20点是不是？我跟你拼了！能工巧匠是不是？能工巧匠是身手是不是？先储存啊！看一下哈，手上有没有任何是可以增加身手的？这个啦。只增加身手的，只增加身手的有没有？只增加身手的，这个吧，这个。啊，干，那不能喝哎，奇怪。不知道为什么有时候不能喝哎。快速碗可以，快速碗可以。好，身手提升了哈，6了。能工巧匠，我现在衣服上面有什么能工巧匠的？这个能工巧匠，从容之路。没有啊，但是有什么衣服是 只有一个啊。人工小将拿到7了嘞，我给他升级。啊。
An old door, worn by elements, guards the depot. The wind has blown a sand dune in front of it. The door hasn't been opened in a long while. You see
我继续
a
升
handle.
哦。我继续升哦。我继续升哦。已经到了11了，拼一下。
An old door, worn by elements, guards the depot. The wind has blown a sand dune in front of it. The door hasn't been opened in a long while. You see a handle.
已经有快速完了啊，还是不行吗？衣服呢？衣服呢？衣服也就是人工巧匠也已经加了呢，还是不行吗？
An old door, worn by elements.
他这个已经到上限了，人工巧匠上限了，我只能拼一次啊。
You rattle the handle a bit, then push on the...
We don't get in there. Frankly, you're just going to have to accept...
No. We've gotten into every door thus far. That's what we do. We open doors. We're cops. That's our perk. Even Everard knew that's a part of our...
Relax. No one's hiding in there. If we can't open it, others can't either.
At least you can think about opening it. About doors in general. They are, after all, fundamental to your life.
It's military. As the washerwoman mentioned a depot up the coast. It's military. The washerwoman...
好哦。这个，我决定了哈，我要用这个思维，我要去搞这个思维，那就先这样子吧。